Hello, welcome back to my channel. We are going to start the next part of my eyeshadow palette. These are all full-size palettes. I have what looks like a massive pile here. So this video, there may be more than just two parts. I was thinking I could do small and large, but what I have is just the neutral palettes right here. So, and then this little pile of more ready toned palettes. So I'm going to try and do, Marie Kondo style rapid fire. I'm not going to swatch a whole lot unless I'm not sure if I'm really on the fence, but I'm going to try and go through them quickly. As far as keep or declutter, the declutter, I have a little table over here. The keep is going to go to my left, your right probably, but anyway, we're going to try and rapid fire through them because this is, there's a big pile. And I don't want this video to be an hour long, so I'm going to see, like I said, it may just be red and neutral. I really won't know until I get filming, so you'll know in the title if this is the only part or if there's going to be multiple parts of eyeshadow palettes. But yeah, let's jump into my small pile of red toned palettes and all of the neutrals. Red ones are in front of me. We have Dream Street. I think I'm gonna let this go just because of its age. This is one I've saved a few times. I don't reach for it anymore. I did when I still worked at AutoZone. I don't believe I'm gonna go back to AutoZone. This one has warmer tones in it. This is the Whatever palette. I'm inclined to keep that. This is the All That palette. Mine looks a little bit different because I had two shades expire, the Press Glitter and the Super Shock that were in here. It still has a little bit of a smell. Now, the two shades that I replaced were these two, so I think this palette has just started to go bad. It's old, so I'm going to take out, I'm going to set this in the declutter, but behind me so that I can remove, these are from the Wine and Only palette, I believe, so I'm going to remove those before I throw it away, and this one I think is just going to go in the garbage because it still smells even after removing the rancid like press glitter that was in there, so I think that one's gonna go. Ace Beauté Classical Paradise. I love this. I have used this. This is gonna stay. Beautiful fall palette. Blood Sugar, as much as I don't like this should have had more red in it. It's a good palette. Mine still works. I don't think mine is as pigmented as it would be if you bought a brand new one, but I use my Jeffree Star palettes a lot for comparisons with Glamlight, so I'm going to keep that. Shades of Roses from Be Bella. I like this palette. I've used it more recently. We'll keep that one. Naked Heat. I have an attachment to these, and I'm not really sure why, but I'm not necessarily inclined to use this. I don't know that I've ever used, have I used this? Maybe once. I got it off of Poshmark, but I got it brand new. So I'm gonna put this one in the declutter for now. And then, because I have other warm tone palettes, like the Whatever palette is warm toned. And then I have a Profusion one that's, because this is older, it's probably the same quality, is warmer. I'm going to put this one in the declutter. If you're not familiar with my declutters, I'm going to point you down to a little bit. My decluttered stuff goes in a basket, and then I make determinations if it's actually going to go or if I'm going to pull it back, but that's where it's going to go for now. Modern Renaissance, again, is warmer, and I could probably get a similar look from Naked Heat from this with the shades that I like, so I'm inclined to keep this still. And then the Waiting Room palette from the Beetlejuice and Melt Cosmetics. This isn't going to go anywhere. Even this, if this expired, it would just not be in my drawer. So we'll keep those. So far I've decluttered two. Okay, next is all neutral. So I'm just going to start grabbing palettes. The Best Dressed from Mally. My dad, I got this palette, decluttered it, and my dad got me a Mally set for Christmas. I haven't used this, so I'll keep that. This is going to go in with my horror palette, so this is going out of my drawer, but I hate this palette. I keep it for the packaging. It's going to not go in with this stuff, and I'm going to preface, you're not going to see any horror palettes because those are all staying But I have this Profusion one that I've never used from the Girl Scout collection. Never used it. Did I use this once? I don't know. I bought these for a video and I think I did the video. I don't even remember. Actually, it smells like coconut. This one I'm going to put in the declutter because I don't know if I'm going to use this, honestly. Bought it for a video. I don't know if I ever did the video. That one can go. The Ethereal by Auckland is a dupe for one of the Huda palettes. I'm not super drawn to this, and this like glitter, this weird shade that they tried to do is started to evaporate. I don't know. I think I'm gonna let this go. Naturally Nude by Trend Beauty. This is a pretty palette. It doesn't have a ton of mattes in it. I think I might be inclined to let that go. Not for any particular reason. It just doesn't spark joy when I look at it. This Ciate London Brazilian Glow, I am inclined to keep. And again, you got some warmer shades in there. I like Ciate London's formula in general. Greatest Hits from Lime Crime, I will keep. Tale as Old as Time from Lorac, I will keep that. My husband bought it for me. Makeup Revolution. This is the Soph X Super Spice. I don't love the Soph palettes anymore. I have Super Spice, Extra Spicy. I just thought, like, these are good. Like, they were decent quality. I just don't find myself reaching for them. So I think I, honestly, as hard as it is for me to let these go for whatever reason, these I think are going to sit in the declutter basket. And then again, if I decide to keep them, I may bring them back. But for right now, those are going to go. Let's see. We have some from Fantasy Cosmetica. The Druid is going to stay. Bard is going to stay. Haven't used those. We have Olimar Cosmetics. This is Destino palette. It's pretty. I don't love the packaging on this, but I like their eyeshadow formula. This is pretty. I'm interested in the color story, so we'll keep that one. Gourmand Girls and Cosmic Peaches collab. I like this grungy color story. You got some pretty duochromes in there, so I'm inclined to keep that. The Amunet Dark from Adept. Never used it. Kaleidos, Cyber Bronze. As much as I don't love this color story, it's probably one of my most used Kaleidos. But I don't know. I think of Thanksgiving because I took this when my grandmother was still alive. My uncle was still alive for Thanksgiving one year after my grandpa had passed away. So I think of Thanksgiving with this palette, but I'm going to keep it. Alien. Oh, Lord, don't fall. Alien from Jeffree Star isn't going to go anywhere. I don't use this one as often anymore, but this was my favorite palette for a long, long time. So that gets to stay. Nudie Patootie from Laura Lee. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm just not, like, inclined to keep it. How are these? Do these still feel okay? Are these dry? Nope, that still seems fine. I couldn't tell you the last time I was interested in reaching for this for no reason other than I just have too many. So I think I might put that one in the declutter. Nudes by New York from Maybelline. I like to have some drugstore. This is a good drugstore palette. I'm inclined to keep that. Ultimate Cappuccino from DD Signature. This is the only palette I have from them. I do like this, so that can stay. Blend Bunny, All Done Up, can stay. Ace Beauté Floral Vintage. Again, there's some warm tones in here. I like this palette. It sparks joy. It can stay. Item Beauty. I kept this one. This is one I decluttered. The brand no longer exists. It's pretty, but I think I'm going to put it back in the declutter. I haven't reached for it since I put it back in my collection, so that one can go back in the basket. Wander Beauty. I like the idea of Wander Beauty. I don't reach for these, but these are all pretty and they intrigue me when I look at them. So I think I'll keep all of these for now. This is Beauty Moon Cosmetics and Ice Cream Beauty, the Baduka Warrior Princess palette. Again, it's a pretty color story. It interests me. It's got some interesting color in there, so I'm going to keep that for now. The Thankful palette. Very pretty fall color story. That can stay. Again, that sparks joy. Please don't fall over. It's like hanging on by a thread there. The Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. This has a lot of sentimental value. I repressed this shade. My dog got a hold of this. This fell out, repressed it. I just couldn't tell you the last time I reached for this. It's really old, so I may put that in the bye-bye pile, which makes me sad. Sultry can stay. The Destination palette from Sephora. This one is, I don't know. It's part of their destinations. The destination from what? I don't know. It looks like this. Emily Noel used it on a video. I was intrigued by the color story. I'm still intrigued. We'll keep it. Enduring Love from Sydney Grace. This is the deeper one of the two. This one still sparks joy. That can stay. This Tarte one is expired. This needs to go in the garbage. These press glitters all went bad. This is old. Doesn't smell good. Probably needs to go in the garbage. The packaging is really cool, so it pains me to get rid of it. It's why I've held on to it for so long, but this is expired. Like badly expired. Don't use it expired. Soft Glam can stay. Carly Bible can stay. I still spark joy when I look at those. Kaleidos, Sashimi City, really nice neutral palette. That can stay. Orb of Light from Full Moon, is Black Moon, whatever, I'm making up names. This is the all matte palette. This still sparks joy. A very pretty autumn color story. Nabla Secret palette. I always want to call this the Secret Garden, but that's a different palette. This can stay. Never used it. The Side by Side is one of my favorite neutral palettes. If I can get it open, haven't used it in a while, but I used this all the time for a period, so that can stay. The Verdandi palette from Odin's Eye. This is one I think I'm going to let go. I was going to declutter it, brought it back. I think I'll let it go. 90s Glam from Bella Pierre. This has a pretty color story. It's neutrally, but I like that you got the face products in there. I might hold on to this just because this is something that I could see using upstairs potentially. You've got some colors, some neutral, so I'm going to keep it this one. I did declutter the little 4-pan from that brand. We got Sample Beauty, the Equalizer Volume 2. Haven't really used this, but it's pretty. I like the color story on that. Morphe 35C Everyday Chic. I still like the color story of this. It's like dusty vintage vibes. I think of winter time. I still like this. So we're going to keep it. Zodiac from BH Cosmetics. Can't get this anymore. I like this more than I used to. Haven't reached for it, but I do like this kind of earthy color story. The baked formula in here is really nice. That one couldn't stay. Cremation palette. Again, I use it for comparisons a lot. These Beauty Bakery palettes, I think I'm going to put in the declutter. They're really nice formulas. The shimmers are nothing to write home about, but get a warm palette. I think these are ones that I've gone back and forth with if you've been around. So that you may see them again. I'm not promising anything. Limoncello from ColourPop. Haven't used this. Heard good things. Reminds me of Frozen, when all good things, all good things. When they're talking about, I think Elsa, that's Taupe can stay. Random Disney quotes pop into my head. Through My Eyes, I love Sarah E. from ColourPop. I decluttered like the same green. She loves that green. This is an old palette and I just don't reach for it. So this is one that I'm inclined to declutter, but I may try and see if I can depot these into my singles. So this one's going to go in the pile with this because I could see getting use out of that, repurposing the eyeshadows if I'm able to. Nomad by Juvia's Place. I love this grungy color story. That can stay. The Warrior palette. Is this one I'm going to think about. Haven't decided yet. I'm on the fence with the Festival too. I'm just not inclined or inspired by this one. I think is gonna go. Nubian 2, again, I've almost decluttered this a couple of times. I hate the shape of this palette. Again, I'm just not inspired by that. So I think that can go. We're Lorella Bare Essentials. This has blushes, highlights, neutral shadows. Again, I like the idea of that for upstairs. Didn't used to love all face palettes, but I like them now. Nude Prison from Lunar Beauty is gonna stay. Like a Boss, Trend Beauty. This one, I think I'm gonna let go of. Not, I know I have other, this should have went in the mauve color store. I have other palettes this color, so I'm gonna get rid of that. The Warrior palette. This is one I'm gonna put in the declutter pile, and I'll see if I have the impulse to use it. Naked Honey. Again, looks very much like the Warrior palette, and I'm inclined to keep this one. I do actually reach for this occasionally, so we'll keep that. I think I'm going to put this in the declutter. This is one from Lottie London. It's a collab palette. I was on the hunt for it because Make Me Up Missa raved and raved about it. She decluttered hers as well. I don't see myself. I've kept it because it took me so long to get a hold of it because it's not sold in the States. Sugar Pill Capsule, the orangey one. I like this kind of fall color story, so I'm inclined to keep that. Unearthly Leather and Lace. Again, I like the color story on this. I don't love Unearthly. I've decided they're not my favorite indie brand. I felt that way about Gourmand Girls, but I like them better now than Unearthly. So I've just decided they're not my favorite brand. I like Odin's Eye better, and Gourmand Girls I've come around to liking. This is a pinkier color story from Odin's Eye. I'm going to keep that. Game of Thrones. Going to keep Game of Thrones. Don't use it, but it sparks joy. Center Stage from Pinky Rose. Again, neutrally, but I like this sparks curiosity when I look at it. So going to keep that. Enchanted from Sigma is also going to stay. Tardiest Pro, I'm inclined to let this go. These are super, like, formula's good, user, beginner friendly, all the things. I have the remix. I couldn't tell you the last time I reached for these. I kept them around thinking I would use them for work, and I haven't been inclined to, so somebody else could get some use out of them before they expire. Sticky and Sweet from Give Me Lip Glow. This palette doesn't exist anymore. I got it on sale when they were retiring it, but I like, again, looks like the Warrior palette. We'll keep that one. It's smaller. The Arcana from Shroud. I like this palette. I haven't been inclined to reach for it. Shroud's formula is fine. Again, they don't have my absolute favorite indie formula, but I like, again, maybe a little bit better than Unearthly. I've decided I don't like Unearthly. I don't hate Unearthly, but they're not my favorite formula. Secret Grove, however, from Gourmand Girls, I am going to let this palette go. Don't love this for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I'm not inclined to reach for it, so somebody else could get some use out of it. Gingerbread Spice. Still love. That probably should have went in with my Christmas palettes, but that's fine. Cinnamon Swirl is another holiday palette. I don't know. This does spark joy. When I look at it, it still smells like cinnamon. Never used to the cinnamon one, but inclined to keep that. Natural Nudes is pretty. White Chocolate has sentimental purposes. My husband bought me the mini for our first Valentine's Day. I do use this from time to time. I still like the White Chocolate. Pumpkin Spice. I'm not going to open it. Mine's broken. It's rubber banded, but I'm inclined to keep this. I didn't like this palette at first. I've come around. I like it now. The Original Chocolate Bar. My husband bought this for me, so I'm inclined to keep it. If I do decide to declutter it, it's not going to leave my house. It'll just leave the drawer because it's stuff my husband's bought me. Doesn't go anywhere. Second Slice has never been used, so I'm going to try and get some use out of it this fall. And then if I don't like this one, this is one I could part with if I needed to. But got two more in the neutrals. Haunted Europe will not go anywhere ever. My friend Christine had two of these and she gave me one. I did hear rumors that they were planning on bringing this back this October. Hopefully they do, because I'm sure I'm not the only one that couldn't get a hold of this or didn't get a hold of it and had regret. So love this palette. And it's special because my dear friend sent it to me. And then she also got me the Ghost Town palette. And I love this palette. I've used this one a lot. Also user-friendly. Well, I always say user-friendly. Beginner-friendly is what I mean by that. Nice for work. It's just nice. Those are not going anywhere. Counted. And from that declutter, I have decluttered 23. Don't know how many I'm keeping. I may count how many I had to start with. I don't know. But I'm decluttering 23 and then keeping the rest. So that's good. That is a good chunk. I'll show you the pile. That's what's going in the basket. Now, like I said, the way I do my declutters is they sit in the basket and then eventually I pass them on. I do give myself time to kind of sit on it, think about it, make my final thoughts, because I have decluttered things and regretted it. So I give myself ample time before I pass them on, that if I decide to bring them back in, I give myself that option. They're my palettes. I bought them or they were given to me. Either way, they're mine. And if I want to bring them back, I can, but 9 times out of 10, it stays decluttered and I give it away, because a lot of these, I'm trying to be realistic. It hurts me to get rid of some of these, but I have not used them in years. And I hate that I have to throw away that palette because it expired, like it's rancid. So that hurts me. I don't want that to happen to these, because there's one in here, the blue Tarte one is expired and rancid, so that's going in the garbage. So yeah, I'm gonna do another part with some other colors. So this again was just neutrals and the red palette. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully I will see you in another video. Bye everybody.